Hopefully the connection is good. But yeah, peace and blessings to you. Today we're gonna dive into prayer because as I was reading the other day, I was reading Matthew 6:6, and something just caught my attention in that verse. And so I'm gonna start off by reading Matthew 6:6, and then we're gonna do some live reading of a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, because there's parallels. We got the physical and spiritual, and sometimes things are explained scientifically in order for us to understand them a little bit better, right? So, how to pray, the power in prayer, the power of your subconscious mind, the power of going within and seeking the kingdom. So, this is Matthew 6, starting at verse 5, and it says, whenever you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, because they love to pray standing in the synagogues and street corners to be seen by people. Truly, I tell you, they have their reward. But when you pray, go into your private room, shut your door, and pray to your Father, who is in secret. That's the key right there. Go into your room, shut your door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who is in secret will reward you. When you pray, don't babble like the Gentiles, since they imagine they'll be heard for the many words. Do not be like them, because your Father knows the things that you need before you ask. As this verse was, as I was reading this verse the other day, it started me thinking. It started getting me thinking, I should say. And knowing my own prayer life and how things have been occurring in my life, it reminded me of an old book that I had, and the parallels to this verse and the book by Dr. Joseph Murphy on the power of your subconscious mind. Because when we go within, when we're seeking the kingdom within, that's where we're going to pray. We're going into our rooms, we're locking the doors, we're closing our eyes, and we're going within, connecting with the Father. And we're not just babbling words, to show face, or to be renowned in that way through our words, because God already knows what you need. And so as you go into prayer, as you go within, as you go into that secret place, you're praying directly in your subconscious mind. It's like someone would say, it's like the nether realm into the spiritual, right? And so I'm going to start reading the power of the subconscious mind. So wonders happen when you pray effectively. Scientific prayer is the harmonious interaction of the conscious and subconscious levels of the mind, scientifically directed for a specific purpose. This book will teach you the scientific way to tap the realm of the infinite power within you. As Matthew 6 says, go within. We're tapping in to the higher power, to the Most High, right? And so when you're tapped in, you're you're finding what's been within you always, right? So I'm gonna continue reading. You desire a happier, fuller, and richer life. Begin to use this miracle working power and smooth your way in daily affairs. Solve business problems and bring harmony in family relationships. Be sure that you read this book several times. The many chapters will show you this wonderful power, how this wonderful power works, and how you can draw out the hidden inspiration and wisdom that is within you. Learn the simple techniques of impressing the subconscious mind, of speaking in a direct manner to God, and follow the new scientific way of tapping in the infinite storehouses because we know God is already abundant. So we're going to read this book carefully, earnestly, and lovingly, and we'll prove to ourselves the amazing way that praying, the power of praying, can really help you. And it could be, and I believe it will be, the turning point of your life. So we'll just continue on. So we know that everybody prays. This is the next subtitle. But do you know how to pray effectively? How long is it since you prayed as a part of your everyday activities? Or do you only pray in emergencies, in times of danger or trouble, in illness, or when death lurks? Our prayers pour forth, our own and our friends. Just read your daily newspaper. It is reported that prayers are being offered up all over the nation for a children or for a child stricken with so-called incurable ailments, for peace among nations, for a group of miners trapped in a flooded mine. Later, it is reported that when rescued, the miners said that they prayed while waiting for rescue. An airline pilot says that he prayed as he made a successful emergency landing. Certainly, prayer is an ever-present help in a time of trouble. But you do not have to wait for trouble to make prayer an integral and constructive part of your life. The dramatic answers to prayer make headlines and are subject of testimonies and to the effectiveness of prayer. What of the many humble prayers of children, the simple thanksgiving of grace at the daily table, the faithful devotions wherein the individual seeks only communion with God? My work with people has made it necessary for me to study the various approaches to prayer. I have experienced the power of prayer in my own life, and I have talked and worked with many people who have also enjoyed the help of prayer. The problem with many people who also have enjoyed the help of prayer, the problem usually is how to tell others how to pray. People who are in trouble have difficulty in thinking and acting reasonably. They need an easy formula to follow, an obviously workable pattern in this simple and specific. Often they must be led to approach the emergency, right? So it's one of those things that many people do not utilize the power of prayer. More often than not, people are praying when they're already dug far in a hole. But we have to emphasize and realize that prayer is effective immediately, and we can use it every day. That is why it says remain in constant prayer. So we're going to continue on reading. It says, what do you believe? You know, it is not the thing believed in that brings an answer to a man's prayer. The answer to prayer results when the individual's subconscious mind, your inner God, when you're going within into the kingdom, responds to the mental picture or thought in his mind. The law of belief is operating in all religions of the world, and this is the reason they are psychologically true. The Buddhist, the Christian, the Muslim, the Hebrew, they all may get answers in their prayers, not because of a particular creed, religion, affiliation, ritual, ceremony, formula, I can't even say that word, incantation, sacrifices, or offering, but solely because the belief or mental acceptance and receptivity about that which they are praying for. The law of life is the law of belief, and belief could be summed up briefly as a thought in your mind. As a man thinks, feels, and believes, so is the condition of his mind, body, and circumstances. A technique, a methodology based on an understanding of what you are doing and why you are doing it will help you bring about a subconscious embodiment of all good things of life. Essentially, answered prayer is the realization of your heart's desire. So, like it said, when you're going to pray, do not babble like the pagans. You have to know, you have to visualize it, you have to believe it and feel it. That is the desire of prayer. Everyone desires health, happiness, security, and peace of mind, true expression, but many fail to achieve clearly defined results. A university professor admitted to me recently, I know that I changed my mental pattern and redirected my emotional life. My ulcers would not reoccur, but I do not have any technique, process, or modus operandi. My mind wanders back and forth on my many problems, and I feel frustrated, defeated, and unhappy. This professor had a desire for perfect health. He needed knowledge of the way his mind worked, which would enable him to fulfill his need slash desire. By practicing the healing methods outlined in this book, he became whole and perfect. You become whole and perfect through Christ, right? So, Emerson, we're going to touch on Emerson, and it's the one mind common to all individual men. The miracle working powers of your subconscious mind existed before you and I were born, before any church or world existed. The great eternal truths and principles of life antedate all religions. It is this it is with these thoughts in mind that I urge you in the following chapters to lay a hold of this wonderful and magical transforming power which will bind up mental and physical wounds, proclaim liberty to the fear-ridden mind. We're setting our minds free and liberate you completely from the limitations of poverty, failure, misery, lack, and frustration. All you have to do is unite mental and emotionally with the good you wish to embody. And the creative powers of your subconscious mind, i.e., God, will respond accordingly. Begin now today. Let the wonders happen in your life. Keep on keeping on until the day breaks and the shadow flees. So that's just, hey, I believe in you too, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, bro. So we're just reading. We're talking about the power of prayer, and I talked on Matthew 6:6, and now we're kind of reading through a book that I've had for a long time. That after reading this verse, this book just kind of came to mind because I've read it maybe a handful of times, but it's been a while, and so we're just going to continue on, because we know that the storehouses is within us. So when we go within to pray, we know we're reaching the Father. So let's see. We're going to skip this part. We're going to talk about the power of going within, so you could bring into your life more power, more wealth, more health, more happiness, more joy by learning to contact and release the hidden power of God within you. You need not acquire this power because you already possess it, but you want to learn how to use it. You want to understand that it is so you could apply it in all departments of your life. As you follow these simple techniques and processes set forth in this book, you'll gain the necessary knowledge and understanding. A new light can inspire you, and you can generate a new force enabling you to realize your hopes and make all your dreams come true. Decide now to make your life grander, greater, richer, and nobler than ever before, because within you lies the vast, untapped potential and power of God. There's a depth that lies with infinite wisdom, infinite power, and an infinite supply of all that is necessary, which is waiting for you to develop and express forth. So begin now to recognize that these potentials are already there, and they're in deeper within you, and they take form in formless. It's a world within a world. I mean, it's like dreaming, right? Every night you go to sleep, you're dreaming, and you're almost in another world. This is where the power of prayer lies. So the infinite intelligence within you, which is God, can reveal to you everything that you need to know at every moment of time. And the point of space provided, you are open-minded and receptive. You can receive now new thoughts and ideas, enabling you to bring forth new inventions, make new discoveries, write books or plays, just whatever it is that your will and purpose is in alignment with God, it's already there and it's waiting for you to tap into. So, through the wisdom of God, you can attract your companion. We already know these things. We're not going outside looking for these things. We're always going within. And it's your right to discover your inner world of thoughts, feelings, power. We know that the light, the love, It all consists within that beauty is magnetic and it's all boiling from within you. And it's up to you to draw out what God has set forth with you. So we'll continue reading because this relates very well with me because I've seen the power of God lift people up out of crippling states. God, through prayer, through meditation, through fasting, has lifted me up out of my own personal depression, out of my own, anxiety, out of a state where I was in a lower nature. And that was by going into that secret place and understanding the power of prayer. So, yeah, we're gonna continue tapping in right here. And so I'm gonna drop down to this part right here. So, your prayer is answered because God loves you. And by this principle, I mean the way that He works, right? For example, the principle of electricity is that it works from a higher to lower potential. You do not change the principle of electricity when you use it, but by cooperating with nature, you bring forth the marvelous inventions and discoveries which bless humanity in countless ways. God within you is that higher principle and works according to the law of faith. You must know what belief is, why it works, and how it works. In the Bible, it says, simple and clear, and in a beautiful way, whoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and thou shalt not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he has said come to pass, he shall have whatever he saith. That's Mark 11:23. And it ties into Matthew 6:6, right? It says, your Father knows the things that you need before you even ask Him. So we have to understand, you know, the power that lies within us. We have to start perceiving how our mind operates. So when you start understanding these laws and principles of faith, that's when you really start honing in into the power of prayer, right? So we understand that there's a duality in our mind, right? Because we only have one mind, but it's our mind that possesses two distinctive characteristics. The line of demarcation between the two is well known to all thinking men and women today. The two functions of your mind are essentially unlike each other. Each is endowed with separate and distinctive attributes and prayers and powers, I should say. The nomenclature generally used to distinguish the two functions of your mind is as follows: the objective and the subjective mind, the conscious and the subconscious mind, the walking and the sleeping mind, the surface self and the deeper self, right? The flesh and the spiritual, the voluntary mind and the involuntary mind, the male and the female, and many other terms. You will find the terms conscious and subconscious used present in the dual nature of your mind throughout this book. And again, I'm reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which directly relates to the power of prayer. We're just diving deeper into understanding, right? Because you have an understanding through many texts and many things that are out there. So it's up to us to really harness our capacities to educate ourselves. No one's really going to tell you what the power is, but you ultimately through experience, through practice, through I don't know if I'm still on live or not. My phone overheated and they kinda kicked me off, but, it seems like it's still going. I might have to wrap this one up and we will probably continue this live, but man, I just wanna thank whoever joined this space. We've been at it for, like, almost half an hour. That's like a full episode of SpongeBob. But, yeah, thank you. Many blessings to you. Much love. God loves you. I just want you guys to take initiative to understand, what is within you, the power of God within you, so you could harness that and bring about heaven on earth. So, much love, peace and blessings. I'm gonna let my phone cool down. Peace.